Panther DMX Player Programming Part 5, Triggering a Solid-State Relay. In this video, I'll show you how I added a solid-state relay to my Panther DMX Player. Warning: electricity can start a fire, it can hurt someone, and it can even kill. If you do not know what you are doing, please do not play with electricity. This is important enough that it bears repeating. Electricity can start a fire, it can hurt, and it can even kill. If you do not know what you are doing, do not play with electricity. This is a demo of how I did it and not a how-to guide. By watching this video, you agree that I cannot be held liable for anything you do. If you do not agree, then you are ordered to discontinue watching this video immediately. This video will continue in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The items that I used to add a solid-state relay to my Panther DMX Player was, of course, the Panther DMX Player, a solid-state relay that I purchased off eBay, like the one pictured here, and also used the second sketch from the video training series, the triggering the LEDs. I wired it up similar to the diagram here below. I took an extension cord, I cut into one of the lines of the extension cord, I added one end of that to the solid-state relay, to the AC voltage input, and the other end of it that I spliced to the output of the AC voltage relay as well for the solid-state relay. So that completed the circuit for my extension cord. And then you took that extension cord and plugged it into my light bulb. I will demonstrate that in the video how I did that. Also, the solid-state relay has a positive voltage side for DC voltage and a negative or ground side for the DC voltage. So the ground goes to the reserved header pin, pin 1, and the positive voltage went to the R7 on the reserve header pin, and that's equivalent to the Arduino IDE digital pin 9. Okay, so if you don't have the Arduino IDE up and running, go ahead and launch it and open up the Panther Trigger LED sketch. We're going to use this sketch because it already has a lot of the code in it that we need in order to trigger the solid-state relay. Alright, so like I said, the first thing I always do is always save my sketches as a new name. So let's do File, Save As, let's call it Panther Trigger Solid State Relay. And we'll say save. Okay. So we're going to use a new digital pin on the Panther, and this time it's digital pin 9. So we'll define that, and we'll call that relay pin. And it'll be pin 9. Alright, so because we have a new output pin, we need to set that pin mode. So we'll say our relay pin is an output pin. Okay. So down here in our loop section, we already have our read triggers method being called inside of our sketch here, which basically just reads our trigger pins, and it says basically, if it's 1, turn the stop pin to high. If it's 2, turn the stop pin to low, and 3 and 4 if the status pin's high. If the value is 3, then turn the status pin high. If the value is 4, turn the status pin low. So these little if-else statements here are only executing one line of code. To execute multiple lines of code, we need to put the code in between the squiggly brackets. So we're going to use our trigger pins 3 and 4. So let's put that code in between squiggly brackets for both 3 and 4. So what we're going to do here is we want to see our status pin on our Panther DMX player on high whenever we should have our relay on, and be on low or off whenever our relay should be off. So all we really have to do in here inside this sketch is just add a digital write to our relay pin and make it high, and a digital write to our relay pin when pin 4 on our trigger pin is pressed to make it low. So that's all we have to do to turn our relay on and turn our relay off, is just basically set that pin to a high value or to a low value. So what I'm going to do now is just compile the code to make sure it's working correctly. We'll just hit this checkbox button here, and it'll compile the code for us. And then we will upload the code to our Panther just by choosing File, Upload Using Programmer. It says it couldn't find the right board. Okay, that's because I was probably programming for something else. Yeah. Then over here I have the Arduino Mega 2560, something else I was doing earlier. So let's switch that. Say our board is the Arduino Uno. And now we can do a File, Upload Using Programmer, so it'll compile it correctly and upload it to our Panther. So it's done uploading to our Panther, and it's actually now ready to run. So let's go ahead and look at that and see how it's going to run on our Panther. Okay, so here's my Panther DMX player. I've got my ground pin, which is going to the reserve header pin number 1, this purple wire here, which then goes into the green wire, and I'll trace that all the way back around to the relay, which is going into the negative side of the relay. The positive side of the relay, the DC positive side, is the white wire, and that goes back around to this blue wire, and then back over here to the Panther on the reserve header pin, pin 1, or excuse me, pin 7. So I got pin 1 ground, pin 7 is the digital pin 9 equivalent on the Arduino IDE. Then over here I've got on the trigger, I've got the ground, my green wire, the 8, which is going to be the digital pin number 4, trigger pin 4, value 4, and then the brown wire is to return my value of 3. And then on the relay, you can see right here, basically I just took my section cord, I just only spliced into one side of it, put one end into the relay, the other end into the relay, going down to the extension cord. One end is plugged into the power source right there. The other end is plugged into my lamp over here. Okay, so now all I have to do now is just basically take my negative pin here and touch it to the orange, and it should come on. My light should come on. Slide that in there. Light did not come on. Let's see, what am I missing here? Oh, sorry, it's not the orange one, it's the brown one. Slide it into the brown one here. Just touch it in there. There you can see my light came on. My light will stay on, and also my LED on the Panther is on, and also there's an indicator on the relay that shows that it's on. If I touch it to the orange now, light goes off, my LED on the Panther goes off, my LED on the relay goes off, and of course my light is off. So that shows you how to hook up the relay. Okay, so that concludes this video on how I added the solid state relay to my Panther DMX player. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube, and if you want, send me a message as well and let me know, and I will continue to provide more videos on things you can do with the Panther DMX player. My next one will be a very interesting one. It's going to be on the Bluetooth module, how to add a Bluetooth module and communicate via Bluetooth communication to the Panther DMX Player. Thank you. Have a great day.